Continuing down the list of things that needs to be done on this Golf, my caliper has just seized, so that's the next thing I've gone and done. Picked up a new caliper. Now if you watched my first video, you would know that I was changing the brake pads and brake discs on my MK5 Golf. Now I was having a bit of trouble with the back left caliper. It just would not squeeze in, and I just found out now that obviously it is seized. I went on a nice long drive to the Lake District and the rear wheel doesn't look great. So as you can see, obviously it's looking quite dirty, but ignore that. That one looks okay, and then if we come over to this one here, we can see that all of this brake dust and sort of disgustingness is all over this one, and you can see the disc is actually starting to sort of rust a little bit where it's getting hot and the caliper is just stuck on. So yeah, as we can see, obviously my caliper is red, which I painted myself. So with the new caliper I do need to repaint it, so that's what I'm going to do first before I think about putting it on, because it's just going to be way easier to paint it right now and then put it on once it's dry. So I'm going to be painting the caliper in the little bike shed. This is my little painting station. So yeah, I've got some high coat red caliper paint which I used for, you know, all of the rest of the calipers. So yeah, the first thing we need to do is really mask off all of the you know, the little pieces that we need to mask off on the new caliper, and then we can get to painting. So I just decided I was gonna just wrap a plastic bag around this end bit. The masking tape just will not stick. It seems like this is a little bit sort of greasy. I've even used some degreaser on it, but yeah, so I'm just gonna basically spray it as it is. I've wrapped up everything that I can, and basically the piston, I'm just gonna have to try and avoid spraying it. So yeah, let's go for it. Just going to do a quick light coat, let that set, and just let it sort of start to bond with the metal, and then I'll go over it again and I'll show you the finished product. So I decided to actually properly mask off the piston, because I really just didn't want to get a red piston boot and a red piston. So yeah, I just tried a little bit harder and actually got it masked off. I used some sellotape and masking tape to get it really stuck, but yeah, it's coming on now, so a few more coats, and yeah, we should be done. So that's pretty much all done there. It looks pretty good. I'm quite happy with it, and yeah, everything's all masked off nicely. So yeah, just got to pretty much wait for this to dry now, and then we will get to taking the old one off and putting this new one back on. I want to throw this in for good measure as well. I've never done this before, so I may do a few things wrong. You're happy to critique me in the comments, but I'm going to do exactly as I believe that I need to do, and we'll see how it goes. But I've got this nice brake bleeding kit, which hopefully should help me out, because it's just me here, so hopefully I can do this on my own. So I was just taking off the brake hose, and as you can see here, it's all just kind of splitting off. Let me just put a flashlight on for you, there you go. It's all splitting off, so what I'm gonna have to do is go buy a new brake line. So after undoing the brake line, this is basically what's happened. It's just not, didn't want to separate from the actual hose, so yeah, I'm not gonna put that back on. I need to go pick up the new one, and then we'll get back on it. So I just went to Euro Car Parts to buy a new hose or a new brake line, and they said that I couldn't buy one because the only place you can buy one from is the VW dealership, or you know, for spare parts. So I went and bought a VW one, and they charged me £40 just for that. Then I thought about it, and I thought, you know what, I'll just go to GSF to see if they've got one. They had exactly the same one for £8. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if the GSF one fits. If it doesn't fit, then I'll use the VW one, and I'll obviously just use that. If it does fit, then I'll use this and I'll take the VW one back and get my 40 quid back. So the first thing we need to do is just remove this little retaining clip, which is holding in the brake line to the caliper. Once we've got that off, we can then take the brake hose out of the little holder, and then we can start removing the 13mm screws, which are holding in the caliper onto the caliper hanger. And then all we need to do is just remove the handbrake cable from the handbrake lever and push that through the little housing where it's held. And it just comes out just like that. So all I'm doing here is just spraying some brake cleaner over the connections and onto the disc. As you know, it is a little bit rusted, the disc now, from the caliper seizing, but this one here is looking way better and ready to go on. So it's basically just in reverse now. We just need to put the brake pads back in, and then we can start assembling the caliper back onto the caliper hanger. Start putting back in the 13mm nuts, which hold on the caliper to the caliper hanger. Nice fresh caliper. Just need to put the handbrake line back in. Just gonna pop that in there. That just pulls through. Just gotta clip that there. That's nice, sweet. So that's the handbrake line on. Next thing, we just need to put this straight through here. Alright, so that sits on there like that. Then we just need to get our new brake line and just attach that. We just need to put it from here into this new little part here. Just take that little cap off, and then we'll put the new brake line in. So that's the new caliper all sorted, all fitted, everything's on. We have the new brake hose, which is on here, or brake line. We have the handbrake in. We have everything sorted. We've still got the clamp on. So all we need to do now is get the the brake bleeder kit and bleed these brakes. So I just wanted to remind you, I've never done this before in my life. I've done this kind of with my dad long time ago, but I don't actually remember what to do. That's why I've got this kit, and hopefully it goes smoothly. If not, I'll be calling my mate to help me out. If not, I'll be calling my mate. Alright. Oh, that's coming out nicely now.
It just needs solid.
Oh. So after a long old slog of trying to use this brake bleeding kit, it actually didn't work at all. So I ended up calling my mate up, asking what the hell I need to do, and then getting my sister in the front seat so she can push the pedal and I can actually bleed the brakes. Well, you know, I know that that kit doesn't work now, so I won't be doing that again. But this is, you know, all part of the journey. It's all part of me learning and understanding. It's funny because actually I would rather pull an engine apart and figure that out than do brakes and stuff like this, because it may be very simple to some people, but to me it just seems so confusing, and like it's so simple but also so confusing. I don't know. I mean, let me know in the comments section below if you think I'm being an idiot or what, but it's all a journey and I'm learning. So we've now got to just put the wheel back on, take it for a drive, make sure the brakes are all okay, and then we'll move on to the next part. The next modification I've got to do to the car is I've got a short shifter. So I'm going to be installing this. I've got a little manual that comes with the short shifter, so I'm going to be following that to make sure I do everything right. Just a quick shout out to my sister for buying it for my birthday. It was my birthday last week, so really appreciate that. Now let's get on with it. So the first thing we need to do is remove the air box. So we need to just take off the MAF sensor, remove all of this so we can get access to the gearbox linkage, which is just down there. So with the airbox now out of the way, we can now get a good look at the original shifter. And then we can start to see what we need to do. So I need to take off this clip, I need to take off this nut, which I believe is a 13mm, and then we can start taking off the gear linkages and follow the manual basically. Right, so that's in. I don't know what the fuck the relay lever is. So hopefully you can see well enough what I was doing there. I actually didn't have a clue. This little manual made it way worse for me to even understand what was going on. The images on this this little manual, they have got all of the words wrong. So I was trying to move, like for example, the shift selector when it was trying to tell me to move the other one, the one that goes up and down, instead of back and forth. So I was getting well confused with that, and then ultimately, you know, I had the car in neutral, and you've got to like select the gear, or you know, just keep it locked in a pin, and it was already in that same level. Like I literally didn't have to do anything, didn't have to adjust anything, and it all seems fine. I now need to just get the airbox back on, obviously make sure that everything's all good. But I'm just sitting in the car because typical England, we've just started raining, so I had to take a pause on just getting the airbox back in and making sure everything's all alright. So that's now everything put back together. I'm now going to turn the engine on and we're going to check out how short the shifter actually is now. Right, so we're all good. Let's check out how short this shifter actually is. Oh, look at that. That's way shorter. I wish I actually got a video of how long this you know, the original gears actually were, but this is actually way shorter. All the gears go in. Yeah, we're lifting the clutch. Accelerate. Yeah, I've got the handbrake on, so we're not actually going anywhere, but yeah, really, really nice. I'm gonna have to get used to it now. I assume that, you know, I'm gonna be trying to pull it way further, and it's only gonna be, you know, relatively short. It's only about a 30% throw reduction, so nothing crazy, but it's actually way better than what it used to be. It used to sort of go all the way up to like here, and now it only goes to there. So it's a big difference. I hope you've either learned something with me today or just generally enjoyed the video. This is all a journey for me, and I'm really enjoying making these videos and obviously doing the work. I'm going to continue fixing everything on this car until everything is sweet, and then I'm going to have to look for a crash damage car or a new car to start doing up, because there's not going to be much else that I want to do to this car anymore. So if you did enjoy the video, make sure to hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and make sure to let me know in the comment section below which part you did enjoy. Peace out, and I'll catch you in the next video.